Hey everybody, my name's Eric. Welcome to the Jailcast. I hope you all had a Merry Christmas, and I'm back right now to bring you my movie news show that I do every week here on Wednesday. So, without further ado, let's get into all the topics. As always, I like to start the show out with the weekend box office report. This week, Rogue One: A Star Wars Story took the number one spot yet again, bringing in an additional $49 million over the weekend for a U.S. grand total of $424 million in the United States domestic box office, with a grand total worldwide of $800 million so far. Surprise, surprise! Star Wars is still amazing, ladies and gentlemen. Also at number two, Sing come in with $42 million. Number three, Passengers rounded out the top three with $16 million over the weekend. Disney's Moana rounded out the fourth spot, and Why Him also had $10 million to take over the fifth spot at the box office. Sing has been a little bit of a surprise here because, I mean, really, to be honest, I didn't really expect it to do a whole lot of business. But after Secret Life of Pets smashed all the box office earlier this year, actually, it's nice to see Illumination Animation have a little bit of success here. I think Despicable Me is always good in the series of the films that Illumination brings out every few years or so. So it's nice to see them have some success outside of Gru and the Minions. So it's always kind of cool. I recently saw Passengers, and you can find the review for Passengers right here on the Jailcast as well. But I thought that was a really well done film, and it really took an in-depth look of, what would you do in a situation where you're completely alone out in the middle of space. I thought it was a really cool look at that kind of a conflict that you would have personally if you were all alone, and what would you do if you were really wrapped up in that sort of situation. It's performing pretty well at the box office for two lead actors who are basically sharing the role together without any other support for the most part. So it's nice to see this kind of film. I do have some success. It's been a slow news few weeks here in the world of movies due to the Christmas holiday and the New Year's holiday here in the States and things like that. So we'll route off a few of the news items real quick here. And the first one is a rather uh, heartbreaking story, really, to be honest with you. As you all are well aware by now, that Carrie Fisher passed away over the holiday season here, as well as her mother, Debbie Reynolds, who followed her one day later in passing away and leaving this planet and this world, leaving all of us behind to remember their memories. And yeah, I mean, a lot of us grew up with Star Wars, obviously, and Carrie Fisher was a big part of that. And they'll both definitely be missed. I mean, not only was Carrie a well-known actress for her role in Star Wars, but she was also a novelist. She also was a mother and all that sort of thing. So I mean, she was a great lady from what I could. Always very honest and very forthcoming with her opinions and things like that. So, and of course, Debbie Reynolds was also well known back in the '80s and things like that. So it's just a heartbreaking tale of of a mother's love, and they were real close to each other as well, and it's just sad and all the way around. And I pray for their families, and I hope and I know I share the sentiments of many people around the world who will miss them dearly, and I just pray that God will be with their families during this time. On a more lighter note, the new trailer for Alien Covenant was released this last week or so, and as always, the trailer for this movie, shows that you can no longer have sex in the shower in outer space safely anymore. So, I thought this trailer was really cool, really well done. It's really kind of creepy, obviously, as the Alien series should be, and it looks like it's going to tie into the Prometheus movie as well that came out a few years ago with Michael Fassbender. So it'll be interesting to see how they tie that film with the existing Alien franchise, and I'm hoping it'll actually bridge the gap pretty well, and we'll get more into the Xenomorph story here, where they came from, and obviously the shower sequence in the trailer was very creepy and very scary. So yeah, so if you ever want to have relations in the shower anymore, you might think twice about it, especially in outer space. This week we also got a new poster for the new Logan movie coming out, starring Hugh Jackman in his final time as Wolverine. This poster, I mean, is really reminiscent of what the trailer has showed us so far. They got this like Western vibe to it with the sunset in the background and him being alone, so to speak, as all the X-Men have died off in this universe, with the exception of Professor X, I believe. So it's got this lone wolf feel to it, obviously, and I really like this. The visual of the sunset in the background really just brings the gravitas that this movie's going to bring on film, I think, and it's obviously going to be a little bit different take. It's going to be an R-rated Wolverine film, so it's going to be a little more gritty, a little more violent, and a little more bloody and gory, I'm assuming too. So I can't wait to see this film, and it comes out just a few short months. So here we are, and I would not be surprised actually if they release another trailer in the next few weeks or so. The sleeper comedy of the year last year was Bad Moms, starring Mila Kunis, and they're going to be getting a sequel to that movie. It'll be coming out in let's see here. It'll be coming out on November 3rd, 2017, and it'll be called A Bad Mom's Christmas. So they're going to take the holiday spin with this sequel. I've yet to see this film. I've heard good things about it, and I hear it's actually refreshing comedy. So I can't wait to check it out. And apparently it did well enough. They're going to get a good sequel coming up, and it'll be interesting to see where they go. I also heard they're going to be getting a spin-off for called Bad Dads at some point. So I can't wait to see how they kind of go about that one as well. So it seems like it's a weekly thing here with DC and the DC Cinematic Universe here, where I do a bit of a rant on this film series here. Now we've got word that Ben Affleck has been quoted as saying if they cannot find a script good enough for the Batman solo film, he quote will walk away from this film or quote will not do this film. Um, so I don't know if he means he won't direct it, he won't star in it or act as Batman in the film. Obviously, he's got Batman vs Superman in the bag, and obviously Justice League has been filmed already too. So it, Ben Affleck's really starting to make me wonder whether or not he's going to be in this thing for the long haul here. I know a lot of people will probably hope that he leaves. Um, I personally thought he was one of the better parts of Batman vs Superman, me personally. Now, but the fact that I mean, I applaud him for wanting to get the script right. That's great. I think that if the script's not ready to go, let's work on that and get the story right because we don't want to have another flop in the DCEU because they've had a few of those that have been not critically acclaimed. So they want to get it right. That's great. But if it gets to the point where he's already signed on to play this character and he walks away from it, it kind of rubs me the wrong way. It's like he's committing to a role and not following through with it. So at this point, the Batman movie is up in the air. I hope that they get their ducks in a row over there at Warner Brothers and they get this all figured out soon. Just a minor spoiler alert here. I'm going to talk about a little bit of something that happened at the very end of Doctor Strange. So if you've not seen that movie yet, you might turn out just for a minute or two here. But at the very end of that film, there is a end credit scene where Thor talks to Doctor Strange, and it is heavily hinted at that Doctor Strange will be appearing in Thor Ragnarok coming up in November. Well, that has been confirmed by Marvel Studios that Doctor Strange will indeed join the Hulk and Thor Ragnarok coming up in November of this year. So for those of you who are waiting to see the Sorcerer Supreme and the Incredible Hulk on the screen at the same time, as well as Thor, obviously, we're going to get a lot of crazy magic type, action between these three, and it should be very interesting to see where they go with it. Being it looks like maybe Doctor Strange may get into some other dimensions and stuff, or maybe go to the other realms like Asgard or something. So this could be very interesting to see what they do in the outer space world of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The upcoming standalone Star Wars movie that will star Alden Ehrenreich as the young Han Solo. It is heavily rumored right now that that film, which was originally scheduled to be released on May 25th of 2018, will now be pushed back to December 13th of 2018, which makes all the sense in the world because Star Wars has been killing it in December the last few years. So why fix what is not broken? So it looks like that film may get moved back to December, and it makes all the sense in the world, like I said, because Rogue One and Star Wars Episode 7 is killing it at the box office during the Christmas season, and I expect Star Wars Episode 8 to do the same this following season. So it'll be interesting to see, if they decide to maybe eventually go to 2 films a year, which is what I would like to see them do. But for now, it looks like that may be happening. That's only a rumor at this point. So just for now, take that with a huge grain of salt that Disney may move the Han Solo film to December of 2018. A rumor came out the last week or so that Deadpool would be making a cameo or guest appearance in the new Logan movie coming out this March. And director James Mangold has come out and basically squashed those rumors, saying he is not in the film. So everybody who thinks that Deadpool is going to be showing up in the new Logan movie, and everybody wants to see Wolverine and Deadpool on the screen together, which I totally understand. I want to see that too. That's not going to happen, apparently, according to the director. Now, directors before have come out and said that like Khan is not going to be in Star Trek Into Darkness, like J.J. Abrams said, and it turned out Khan was in Star Trek Into Darkness. In this case, I believe James Mangold because if you've seen the trailer for Logan, this has kind of got a different feel to it. It's not very comic booky. It seems very gritty, a little bit darker, and things like that. A little more of a western. So I don't think Deadpool fits here. So I would be very surprised to see Ryan Reynolds and Deadpool show up in this movie. Now, who's to say that maybe Hugh Jackman could be convinced to come back as Wolverine in a Deadpool movie with Ryan Reynolds as well? That I would personally love to see, but time will only be able to tell on that one. Right now, after Logan, I really have no idea what Fox is planning for the X-Men universe, so we'll just have to wait and see on that one. Well, now it's time for what is opening up this week in theaters. Opening up this week on January 6, 2017 is Underworld Blood Wars. Death dealer Selene, played by Kate Beckinsale, must fend off brutal attacks from both the Lycan clan and the vampire faction that betrayed her. Joining forces with allies David, played by Theo James, and Thomas, played by Peter Anderson, she embarks on a quest to end the eternal war between the two races, even if it means making the ultimate sacrifice. They've already discussed plans for a sixth film in this series. This will be the fifth overall and the fourth in the Selene timeline, so to speak. The third film in the series, Rise of the Lycans, was more of a prequel to the original film Underworld. So Blood Wars here will be the fifth film in the series. From the trailers, I actually think the trailers look really good for this film. I know that there's some people who don't really care for the Underworld films because, much like the Resident Evil films, I kind of view them as guilty pleasures to some degree. The story is a little, not the greatest sometimes, but the action is really cool. And to me, to be honest, anytime you can see Kate Beckinsale in tight plaid leather outfits or whatever, I'm totally in. I'm sold. So you can check out my review for this movie coming up probably this Saturday right here on the JoeCast. I'll be doing a movie review for it. It'll be non-spoilers, so you all can check that out without seeing the film and not worried about me ruining it for you. So you can come back and check out that right here on the JoeCast anytime you want. Well, that'll just about do it for me, everybody. Thank you for watching this video, and if you like what you saw here, please comment and like this video. And you can also subscribe to the JoeCast on YouTube by searching for JoeCast there. You can also find links in the description of this video for my Facebook and Twitter, or you can go to facebook.com/JoeCast, or you can find me on Twitter @EricJel. So until next time, thank you for watching. God bless.